Thank you, Shocks. Guys, as EpicSkillshot mentioned going into that game, 19 games, 19 unique champions picked in the mid lane. Crumbs, you said maybe these teams would play it safe going into these games. And then we have a champion select like the one we did. I'm not sure they yielded your advice there.
I want to know how long the queue time was to get into this kind of match, because it was quite a particular game.
You know the analogy or the metaphor I made for my World's Pick'em?
Dumpster inferno of nothingness. I mean, that's the thing. When you look at LGD coming into this tournament, most people would have put them in the top 3 teams. On paper, top 3 teams for the entire tournament. Had them #1 seed for their pick'em. They're now sitting solidly at the bottom of this group, 0-3. I mean, it's a baffling thing that I want to try and dissect here. Let's start with Pix and Ban, though, because we saw this brand support come out. We saw the Diana come out, and that was with them on red side, leaving Mordekaiser up. So there had to have been a pretty good idea that the Mordekaiser pick was going to come through on the side of TSM.
You know, this gives some hope to TSM into the way that they should be taking drafts. Pick 3 melee champions that are always going to be soaking up damage so that Bjergsen can be left untouched in the backline and can carry. The damage that he did was equal to Mordekaiser, Darius, and Thresh combined, which is insane, to be honest. Like, that's more than 3 of your other teammates.
Well, I mean, and to take the damage into consideration, too, obviously Bjergsen had a very good performance in that game and really did carry the team. But people are going to be wondering about what's this brand about, right? Well, as it happens, if you're going to start kiting the Darius and some of these melee picks, well, if you get that Riley's on Brand, he actually does a lot of damage. Brand did more damage than either Mordekaiser or Darius in this game. Brand, support Brand.
I have to add, like, on a more serious note, it's like, I feel the trade-off, Mordekaiser into Lulu Kalista, is a really good trade-off in favor of LGD, because on paper, they have a team composition that is really good against these juggernauts, and still, like, that first dragon was just catastrophic.
Does the Diana pick, then, somewhat contradict the idea that you want to kite these juggernauts?
I think the Diana pick was fine because you're trying to play around the Twisted Fate with the teleport and you're trying to go into the bottom lane. Again, I think most of this game was a lack of coordination on LGD's part because the composition itself is fine. It's fine. It's just that when you walk into Dragon 1 by 1 and just start feeding, that you have an issue.
You know, what we expected from LGD was the boldness and coordination from the play that they had when they made that comeback Baron. TP, okay, let's do something together and try to get something out of this game. That's what we thought we'd see throughout the entire tournament, through all their games. One play in 3 games is the only hope we've seen from LGD from the expectations that we had of them so far. And that's not enough to really get them out of groups.
And we know they can do it. Now, to TSM's credit, one of the best plays was the Darius' TP into that bottom lane, because one of the things we've been criticizing TSM about is do something, just anything before 20 minutes.
Being proactive.
But they were very proactive here, and that really helped out, getting that early kill. Darius was the faster one on the teleport. But also LGD, they're known as a team that's very coordinated around using 2 teleports, and I don't know what's happened to them, but apparently Godv and Acorn cannot push their teleport keys at the same time anymore.
Yamato, I think it is safe to turn a critical eye on both of these teams here. Even though this was a win for TSM, it wasn't clean. We saw a 10K up. A majority of teams in this competition with that kind of gold lead would be able to cleanly close out the game. And as you mentioned, Crumbs, there was that Baron blunder where they handed 5K gold back, and it became a much closer game again. So when we look at this game, and as we look going forward, TSM, what is it about their mid-game there where they seem to be making some interesting errors?
Well, there was that one mistake where they pushed up mid too far. But it's also like the way they draft, I thought it was very, very risky because, like, even though the draft was not really relevant in this game because it was this full clown fiesta in a way, the thing is they draft very risky. The Darius into the Kalista, and then they just overstay in the mid, turned into a Baron, and I was scared that they would just lost the game there. But then Acorn got caught.
Well, I disagree. I don't think the draft was necessarily risky. I think the only really big criticism about it was the Darius, and that's just something that's been built up throughout the tournament as not a very effective pick. But I think it's a great win for them because they're not playing anymore this week. It's a boost of confidence, and it's really what they needed to see how the team can operate and if they can really be aggressive in this stage, and it shows that they can. So I think it's a big step forward for them if they want to get out of groups. The difficult part being is a team that loses the next match between KT and Origin is going to have to be the team that they need to beat.
All right, well, earlier we asked what has surprised you the most so far at Worlds, and Mad Piero tweeted, I was hoping to be overwhelmed by the Chinese team superiority, and I'm not even whelmed right now. What is this?
No one is whelmed. And let's take that. So the Chinese teams, people seem to be forgetting that EDG is doing just fine, right?
That is true.
Sure, they lost to SKT, but they made that mistake around the early Dragon Call. It's something that they can alter relatively quickly. I don't think we're going to see that same error again. And otherwise, EDGs look just fine. I still think they're a favorite to make finals.
All right, one final thing. As this is the end of week 1, these teams do have a few days to regroup. And as much as it may be an uphill battle for LGD and TSM being 1-2 and 0-3, what needs to happen in this next 3 days to regroup and come back looking stronger next week?
I feel like in LGD's case, I think they just need to find themselves again.
I think it's too late.
I think it's too late.
Yeah.
With the 0
Which is a fair assessment.
With the 0-3, I agree it's too late. But if they want to take some kind of victories, then I feel they need to start playing to the strengths again. They need to play these matchups that are where they kind of pressured the matchups. It's for example, the Diana, I liked it. It came back. Good. The Acorn on Lulu, I want to see on something that can snowball the matchup. Gnar, something he's split push. That's what I want to see from LGD.
From TSM, I think we need to just see more decisive and late game playmaking. Sure, their early game was looking strong right there. They capitalized on LGD's errors, but then we saw people getting caught out time and time again, and that's exactly what happened to them in their match versus KT. And interestingly, with how strong Bjergsen and Darius were, they could have feasibly set up some sort of 1-3-1 split push, and constant pressure on all 3 lanes is key to using Mordekaiser. But when they get picked off, they just can't do that. So there's a lot of flaws in TSM's late game play.
All right, well, they've got some time to regroup. Our next teams don't have too much, though. We need to step away as we gear up for our next fight in Group D between Korea's KT Rolster and Europe's own Origin. Don't touch that browser. We'll be right back.
Yo, Darius, make some calls so I can listen.
I'm TB.
I'm flashing. Alright, I got it.
Did you hear him flashing or?
Yeah, I heard the flash.
I'm dead.
There will be a challenge.
It's going to be a lot of damage, but they have the dragon.
Oh, they've got him already. He's down.
now could be in trouble. Good old back there. Gonna move Diana into the team.
I'm on Diana.
Diana. Kill him. Brand. Nunu.
I'm coming in. Nunu. I'm on Kalista. I'm on Kalista. You can do band.
LGD fighting to the death. First goal happens. Darius trying to duck in the middle. In with a double. Godby cleans up the third. They'll keep chasing through. Acorn's going to run in for support. Wild Total pumps his zonies, but the damage is just massive. Imp tearing through the team.
Now let's see Darius. He's in trouble. He gets taken down. Godby and him still alive. 2v3. They might clean this up. Oh! Wild Total gets it.
TSM take down LGD.